think about those machines, then you would go wrong. I thought I would just say literally a few remarks about police and crime commissioners, and obviously about why I'm very pleased to be here supporting Richard today, and great to be here with Rory. Thank you very much, Rory, for being here too. Police and crime commissioners is something that the Conservative Party has been proposing, in fact, for a number of years. It was in our manifesto for the 2010 election. We came about this policy for two reasons. First of all, we felt that there was, sadly, or had developed something of a disconnect in many areas between the police and local people in terms of what the police were actually doing and what the police were policing in their local area. And that was partly due to the second reason, which was we saw that there was far too much central control from Westminster, from the Home Office, in terms of what the police were doing at local level. So effectively, under the last government, the police were interfering in what, the government was interfering in what the police was doing by setting them several sets of targets about the sorts of crimes that they should be investigating and prioritising. And very often police officers would say to me on the ground, well, actually, in our local area, what we know the people want us to be policing, what we know is the real issue, is not what's in the government targets. But we've got to deal with the government targets because that's how the force is being looked at, that's how the force is being judged by the Home Office. And I think that was wrong. I think the last government was interfering too much in local policing. I think there wasn't enough of a voice for local people. And that's why we believe that the Police and Crime Commissioner, somebody directly elected by the people, by the public, to be their local voice in local policing is the right answer. It's also important because although I know many people have worked over the years diligently on as members of police authorities, the public, in the last survey, only 7% of the public knew that the police authority existed as a body that they could go to when they had a complaint or a concern about local policing. With the directly elected police and crime commissioners, there will be somebody there who people have been able to go to the polls for, they've been able to vote for, they will know is their local voice. And certainly, I know from talking to our candidates, and Richard included, that these are people who are not just going to be sitting behind desks, they're going to be going out and listening to local people and picking up the issues about local policing and then obviously translating that in terms of discussions with the Chief Constable about what's happening. And the Police and Crime Commissioner will set the budget, set the amount of council tax that is going to be raised to be spent on policing, and will set the strategic priorities for the police and can ultimately hire and fire the Chief Constable. So this is a significant post. So it's important that people do vote on Thursday. Please remind friends and family of the importance of this. And when you're doing that, remind them of the importance of voting for the candidate who has the best plan to cut crime. And that is Richard Rhodes, the Conservative candidate, and also who has a very good background in criminal justice and therefore understands the systems that he's going to have to be dealing with and understands some of the issues that he is going to be dealing with. But if you look at what Richard is looking at in terms of his proposals, I think he's absolutely spot on identifying some of the key issues that need to be addressed in terms of local policing, but also the need to get out to hear people, to hear people's concerns about what really matters to them, because that's what matters. A Police and Crime Commissioner who will listen to local people, who will be the local voice, and who will work with the police force and ensure that the one aim of the police is to cut crime, because that's what we always want. And that Police and Crime Commissioner candidate is Richard Rhodes, your Conservative candidate. Thank you.
Thank you.